Okay, so that's a big title and this is a big video, but I want to use this video to communicate with you if you're thinking about doing an SEO project, or on the other side, if you're thinking about doing SEO work as a Squarespace designer. Here are a few things to consider as part of the process. Now, we have done over 500 SEO projects as an agency. So we've seen the likes of everything from clients who basically say nothing to clients who have 75 questions and are not satisfied with the work. So there's a whole myriad of things. There's a few things we want to get on the right page about as we begin to make sure clients are on the right footing and right direction and right focus and expectations for the project. The only problem is, even with that, sometimes clients don't really understand what they're investing in. And that's why I want to make this video, because I want to have the conversation that really helps a client know what to expect. Now, just a little bit of background. We do one-time SEO projects. In an ideal world, we would do a one-time initial SEO, technical SEO setup, and we would probably publish 4 to 8 to even 15 blog posts on your website a month to really see traction. This is the big hitter and I'm jumping ahead, but this is the big hitter that clients miss when they do a one-time service and then 6 months later say, I haven't seen any change. It happens. It totally happens. And this is why. Creating engaging content that aligns with search intent. That is the goal. So you have your site up. Awesome. You have products you sell. Awesome. We will optimize the life out of it. But if you are not consistently publishing content into the digital world where Google could find it and then also show it to people and those people find it interesting, well then, it's really not a game you're playing. It's not a one-time thing. It's not something you could just do and never think about again. SEO is a long game. It's a game you play month in and month out. It's almost like digging a well with a shovel and you only have 5 minutes of digging time a day. Basically, you can't dig the whole tunnel in a day. There's no way to rush it. Even if you publish 1,000 pieces of content today, that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna rank. You need to have backlinks. You need to build a position. You need to have people visiting your site consistently and organically and seeing that grow. There's a lot of factors involved. There's actually over 200 factors that Google uses to show results on a page. And what is Google's goal? We want to start on the same page there as well. And I'm kind of going in a rant right now. This is not a one by one, but these things are important to know. And this is the next important thing. What is Google's goal? At the end of the day, Google wants someone who goes to Google, types in a search, and finds exactly what they're looking for. So the likelihood that they will come back to Google first to do the search is very high. So your content has to speak to them. Just because you sell a product doesn't mean it's the best product. And even if it is the best product, doesn't mean it has a position in the market. It's unfortunate. Just because we optimize it technically on the back end, you actually have to provide more value. And this is where business owners miss out because they have the value. They know their product, they know the business, they know the industry, but they don't write about it. They don't do videos and talk about it. They don't publish any type of content around it. They just expect that I have a good product and it should show up on Google. I don't know why it's not. I don't know why my competitor is ahead of me. All of those types of things. And this is the big missing factor in all of this. Create engaging content that aligns with search intent, the search intent that we want. What does that mean? You create engaging content. So if you're specifically trying to solve a problem for a customer and you have this solution, you talk about that problem and ways they can solve it and what the solution looks like and how big the problem is and how to solve that problem. So you talk about all those points and you deliver exceptional value based on search intent. So what are people searching where the likelihood of them finding your product would actually align with the search? It's not about your product. I'm sorry to say this. It is not about your product. This is so much a rant, and I apologize if I'm coming off like extreme, but it's almost like set the tone well. Your product's cool, but with Google, the focus is what does the market actually want? And going towards that. So if everyone is searching for a specific type of search and your product is over here, well, SEO might not be the best for you. And further, SEO is really much more about optimizing towards what people are searching and using words that they know. Okay, so let me take this down like 14 steps because my energy level is just like through the roof. Okay, 14 steps down, let's get practical. If you're looking to do an SEO project with us, this is what I'd say. If you're an e-commerce business on Squarespace, you're looking to do SEO optimization, the best case scenario is if you want to just do basic optimization to get started and you want to do one of our packages, great. If you expect that this is going to shoot your organic results up, it probably will not happen without additional blogging content. And also you have to get your stuff on Google Shopping, which is Google Merchant account, which you need a third-party plugin with Squarespace. There's a whole process there, a whole nother flow. So if you just expect to do e-commerce on Squarespace and get a one-time SEO package, you're gonna probably be left disappointed. Next, if you're looking to really target big keywords like digital marketing agency that are very competitive, if the words are very competitive and you don't anticipate publishing blog content on it, that's even going to be a higher likelihood of failure in the project because you're not going to see the results. I could put digital marketing agency in the back end as keywords and in your SEO description and make sure your pages are titled the right way and do all the SEO stuff that's important and essential to get started. But digital marketing agency is so competitive. Those words are so competitive. So it's going to take time to show up. Also, you're going to want to know what actually is showing up on Google and reflect what they're doing. So if they talk about the top 10 agencies, hey, you might want to talk about that. Or if they talk about, even if it's your competitor, or you may want to talk about something like the 5 things to consider when first hiring a digital marketing agency. That's what you write on your blog post. That's what shows up on Google. And that's what leads people to your main site. I almost imagine that people think when they hire someone to do SEO, they think we have like a magic trick that we know that they don't know. What we have is just being a professional. We know what to do and how to do it, but there's no magic trick to hijack Google. You can't do that. No one runs Google. No one owns Google except Google. No one can tell Google how to do what they do except Google themselves. And this is so important because what we're doing then is positioning you to win. It's like me selling you a car, beautiful car, works great, and you go and park it on the side of the road and you just leave it there. It's a great car. You spent a lot of money on it, but you're not using it, so it's not going to be effective. You have to then drive it and give it mileage, build blog posts or write blog posts, build up your site, build up your content. Go post your content then on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram. Post it in your email newsletter. Get more people to your site. Remind people that you have content on your site. Deliver extreme value through your content. All these things matter. And the final note for this, especially if you are a client looking to work with us, or if you're looking to build your own agency, the main thing that everyone needs to know is there is no way to rush the process. You can do things to make the process go faster, but you cannot rush the process. So at the end of the day, what Google does is what Google does. So there's things you could tweak and adjust and fix relatively fast, but I cannot build a site today with 5 pages and call it a digital marketing agency, even if I've done work for 50 years, but my domain is brand new, my business is brand new. It doesn't just show up at the top of Google. If a ton of people start searching for it specifically, that can happen. That can happen, but there's so many factors involved. And at the end of the day, Google wants to provide the right value to the person so that when they do the search, they find the information they're looking for, even if they don't know what they're searching. Do you know if you've ever done this before? If you had like a pain in your elbow, you might say, weird pain or bump on my elbow. And that's all you write. And then what Google does is it'll literally tell you, it'll say, this is a blah, blah, blah treatment or condition or whatever. They could literally name something based on the words and phrases you use that are generic. That is mind-blowing. Just like sit with that for a moment. Oh, and the final thing I want to say about this video, and I'm going to end here because this is all like, I think this is such good content, but I am very like high energy on this. The one thing I would say to also consider is you want to know what you want to optimize for. This is what I mean. Google is built off of 10 different products, possibly even more. They're built off of a Google business profile. They're built off of Google Maps, Google Images, YouTube. There are so many different tools and things that show up in Google, rich snippets, text snippets. There are so many things that show up on a Google search that you need to know what is important to show up for. So let's do an example. Let's say you are a coffee shop and you want to show up at the top of Google for a search like coffee shop near me. What you need to know from the first get-go is anytime somebody searches near me, the first results that show up are Google Map results. Why is that important? That is important because Google Map results are not your website results. They are Google Business Profile results. So you want to make sure you have a Google Business Profile. It's also really nice to have a website, but the important part for that specific search with near me at the end is going to be your Google My Business Profile, formerly used to be called Google My Business Profile, now called a Google Business Profile. So you're going to want to make sure you have that set up and optimized. If you have products, this is what I was mentioning earlier. If you're e-commerce on Squarespace, you actually want to make sure your products show up in a Google Merchant account, which links to Google Shopping. And then that's what shows up at the top of Google. So if you're trying to show up for a product, you're going to have a really hard time because most of the stuff showing up there is Google Shopping. And if you're trying to show up there with just a Squarespace e-commerce site set up with some great SEO, it's actually not going to be relatively great for you because you're not even competing in the field you need to be in. And a lot of that is just knowing what you want to show up for. What is important to you and your business? Now, I have a whole nother video where I share my screen and talk about different businesses and industries, plus these 10 tools. So check it out down below. I believe the title is something to the extent of understanding search before you get started on an SEO project, but that will really help you figure out what you need to optimize for. So if all of that sounds good to you and this works for you, what you're looking to do is optimize your results so they look great. You're trying to optimize so you can grow on Google or get positioned by an expert the right way, almost like a chiropractor who aligns you and then sets you off on your way for the next 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 weeks. That's what we do. We get you aligned so you're starting on the right foot and then give you recommendations on what to do next and how to grow your site, how to publish blog content consistently and grow. This is a long game. And if you're willing and ready to play the long game, it will be so beneficial because when you start getting a bunch of organic traffic, I have worked with sites that get hundreds of thousands of leads a month organically to their site. If you get to that point, you look back and you save so much money and time and energy than running ads to a site that the moment you stop running ads, there are no more leads. This creates a process for you to scale your business and continue to scale and continue to grow and get found by new people each and every month. If you got any value from this video, hit that like button. If you have any questions, drop a comment down below. And if you want more content like this, we publish new content 3 times a week, maybe even 4 times a week at this point. Hit that subscribe button and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.